So we are from group 5 and we will explain about the humidification. Our group member are AMIRA Nordiana, Goziki, Lizingi, Lorisin, and me, Nadia. So I will explain, first of all, I will explain about the concept of humidification. So what is humidification? Humidification is a process which is carried out by passing the air over spray of water, which is maintained at temperature higher than the dry bulb temperature of air, or by mixing air with the steam. In actual practice, the pure humidification process is not possible, since humidification is always accompanied by cooling and heating of the air. So humidification can be related to the 7 characteristics. This characteristic can be found in psychometric chart. So first of all is wet bulb temperature. Wet bulb temperature are temperature measured by thermometer which the bulb cover with a muslin cloth sleeve. Next is dry bulb temperature. Dry bulb temperature is the air temperature measured by thermometer which is bulb is kept dry. Dry bulb temperature is also known as ambient temperature. Next, dew point temperature. Dew point temperature is temperature at which air is cooled to the point where its vapor pressure reaches its saturation pressure. Relative humidity is the ratio of partial pressure of water vapor in air to the vapor pressure of water at same temperature. Next, absolute humidity. Absolute humidity is mass of water vapor per unit mass of dry air. That is the formula of how to calculate absolute humidity. The humid volume is volume of unit mass of dry air with accompanying water vapor at given temperature and pressure. And lastly, enthalpy. Enthalpy is measure of heat energy.
All right, so now I would like to introduce how to draw the psychometric chart. So now we look at the example. Given that the drying bulb temperature is 27 degrees Celsius and humidity ratio is 0.015 kilogram water per kilogram of dry air. Okay, next. Next. So we can look at the so then we can look at the humidity ratio is about 0.015, right? So we draw a red line, and then we draw a line. We draw a vertical line from 27 degrees Celsius, and we will get a point in their intersection. So in order to get the wet bulb of saturation temperature, next. Then we will draw a black color line. We will get the wet bulb temperature is about 24 degrees Celsius. And for the specific enthalpy of moist air is around 74 kilojoule per kilogram dry air. Okay, next. And then in order to get the dew point, we will draw a yellow line from the point. Then the dew point is around 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, next. So in order to get the relative humidity, you can look at the brown circle. It is around 68%. Okay.
So now for the equipment that related to the humidification, which is ultrasonic humidifier. So for the construction of ultrasonic humidifier, it consists of form of cool mist output, demineralization cartridge, nebulizer chamber, and ultrasonic titanium membrane hydrostatic and circulating fan. For the operation, for the operation of this ultrasonic humidifier, it starts with the water entering the cartilage to undergo purification process. Then the purified water is then transferred to ultrasonic titanium membrane. At the same time, dry air entering the circulating fan and then to the membrane. Purified water is added to the dry air within the ultrasonic titanium membrane. Thus, humidified air is then produced. So next, for cooling tower consists of propeller fan, breath eliminator, hot water nozzle, water distribution system, and basin. Each of the construction has its different purpose. For example, wall of cooling tower is made up of concrete to withstand corrosion and shed other internal mechanical parts from any damage. Besides, fiberglass reforms polyester FRP is used because of its light properties, which can minimize foundation loads, and also it is good life cycle cost. Moreover, polymer PVC is used as one of the material because PVC is high resistant toward heat, chemical, and corrosion. So for the operation of cooling tower, it starts with the water is sprayed evenly by nozzle to increase contact area with the air. Air is entered from below to increase of temperature and sensible cooling process. Condensed cool water is then collected in the lower basin and used again for recirculation. So the drift eliminator is used to entrap water droplets that tends to drift off with the existing airflow. Next.
Next is the humidification. The condensation of water vapor from air is cooling below the dew point for the removal of water vapor from air by chemical or physical methods. There are two methods. This is heating and ventilation, condensation with humidifying, and absorption with humidifying. For heating and ventilation, this method consists of raising air temperature in a room and applying intense ventilation. The lower external temperature and the higher temperature of the dehumidified room, the more effective the method. The best effect can be achieved in winter, worse in the spring and autumn, and the worst one in summer. In case of dehumidifying humid wall, temperature in the room should not exceed 35 degrees Celsius. High temperature can cause excessive increase in the pressure of steam contained in wall, which lead to cracking and damaging of the wall. For the absorption dehumidifying, this method consists in remove humidity from the air by absorbing it by hygroscopic materials. The main device used in this method are absorptive dehumidifier, which major elements include water along the drying unit, extractor fan, air heater, filter, casing, and a fitting. A great advantage of this type of dehumidifying is the possibility to dehumidify air without cooling as well as dehumidifying air of sub-zero temperature. Next, for the condensation dehumidifying, this method consists in removing humidity from the air by cooling it below the dew point, which causes the updropping of humidity. Condensation dehumidifying is definitely more effective and economical than drying by means of heating and ventilation, primarily thanks to the eliminating exchange of air content in the room.
And there are two examples for dehumidification equipment. The first is the second dehumidifier. There are five components in the second dehumidifier, which is two fans, a heater, motor, and the second rotor. So how does it work? They work by using one fan to pass cool, humid air to the rotor, which allows the desiccant to absorb the moisture, while another fan will also use to pass the hot air through the same rotor to extract the moisture from the desiccant. The heater is used to produce the hot air, while the geared motor is used to rotate the rotor. Next, the refrigerant dehumidifier. The major component for this refrigerant are reservoir fan, evaporator, condenser, as it works. To cool and trap heat, becoming cool saturated air. Then the condensation will form on the cold coil and it will drift into the reservoir. The cool saturated air passes through the compressor, causing an increase in temperature and pressure by expanding the air. Then the air passes across the condenser and becomes dry by increasing the temperature. Lastly, the fan will disperse the warm dry air out from the humidifier. That's all.
So we can open for Q&A part. So is there any question for my part?
So I would like to ask Nadia, what is the main uses for industry humidification system?
Okay, so as you know, the main uses of industrial humidification is, I give two example. First of all, in print and paper industry, the regulating of air humidity is necessary to ensure high quality goods of material and process, as they are both react strongly to humidity level changes. Next is in pharmaceutical industry. Developing and manufacturing medical products require controllable air humidity to ensure maximum quality and effectiveness, and at the same time, to ensure there is no disruption and hygienic process. Next, I would like to ask XING, what is the importance of understanding psychometric chart?
All right, Nadia. Okay, so the psychometric chart is very important because it is a graph representation of psychometric properties of air. Also, it is an important tool for engineers to carry out heat law or cooling law calculation and find solution to various air condition related problems. Okay, Nadia. So I would like to ask Ziqi. Okay, what are the benefits of dehumidifier?
For the benefits of the humidifier, it can help to reduce the musty odor that can accompany mold and mildew. And it can also reduce the potential development of mold on furniture, curtains, bedsheet, and clothing. Running a dehumidifier can reduce dust because dust can trigger allergic, and this device will help to reduce allergens such as dust mites, molds, and mildew. Next, I would like to ask Lucille, what is the purpose of installment of nebulizer chamber?
Okay, Ziqi, for a nebulizer chamber, because the ultrasonic humidifier is used mostly in during the winter period. So a nebulizer chamber is used to convert water or liquid into the fine mist that is flow up to add the moisture to the surrounding air. Okay, that is my answer for the question. For next, I want to ask AMIRA or NADIA, what is the difference between desiccant and refrigerant dehumidifier?
Okay, Listen. For both equipment is used to remove moisture from the air, but both have differences. For desiccant, it is perfect for large-scale commercial and industrial jobs where the temperature levels are lower. Meanwhile, for refrigerant dehumidifier, it is more efficient in small space where the temperature level is higher. Also, refrigerant humidifier are more recommended if the space has noise requirement because this unit is much quieter than desiccant-based humidifier. That is my answer for your question. I have a question for Listen. What is the purpose of cooling tower in industry?
Okay, AMIRA, for the purpose of cooling tower in industrial sector, cooling tower is used to remove heat and cool down the other plant. For example, the heat from the hot water that is produced by the power plant or petroleum refinery plant is absorbed in cooling tower, and cool water is collected in the basin and is recirculating again in other plants to absorb heat. Okay, this is for my answer. Okay, I think that's all for our group 5 in this presentation of topic humidification. Okay, thank you.